Alright, so today we're going to be heading to Holywell, which is located in the Blue and Jonquil Mountains National Park. But before we head there, let's actually do some car checks. When embarking on a long trip, it's always good to check your fluids. This could mean the difference between a lovely day out or a rough day out. Oil levels could indicate that a service might be due or that there's a leak that needs to be addressed. So checking the radiator reservoir and the radiator itself also gives you an idea of the system's health. If the levels are good and there aren't any signs of oil and radiator fluids mixing, then we're good. And also, don't forget to check your dry belts for cracks. Washer fluids, keep the windshield clear, brake fluids to ensure that you stop when you need to. Everything looks good, but that's not where the checks end. Now, running the right tire pressure ensures longevity of the tires, as well as aids in the proper vehicle handling. Everything looks good. So now, let's hit the road. We're going to be leaving from Papine and heading to Holywell. So according to the National Library of Jamaica, Papine most likely got its name from Colonel Alexander Grant of Scotland, who was the former owner of the Papine plantation. Papine was a tramcar station between 1876 and 1948. Papine hasn't strayed far from its tramcar roots, as it's a transportation hub and a home to unruly taximen. Here we have a bunch of really cool signs. Keep straight if you want to head to Holywell. There's some colorful shops along the way to get meals or some fruits or both and enjoy a view. Just a heads up, this drive can be rough on those who suffer from motion sickness, so be sure to take something to manage it or don't eat before starting the journey and eat later on. So this is Irish Town, and Irish Town got its name because Irish Town was originally the site of Irish settlers. So here we have two local restaurants. One is Crystal Edge, which does local cuisine, and Cafe Blue, which does coffee and sandwiches. Good views as well. So this yellow and brown structure was made for coffee farmers to drop off the reap goods. And we are entering red light district, and in this district you can stop at shops and get a meal or a quick snack. Right along here, it's colorful, and you have cool views here as well. Next we have Eits Cafe, which also comprises of a guest house and a food basket farm which supplies the cafe, as well as does deliveries to other parishes. Now another cafe is Middleton Coffee Bar. It has a really relaxing vibe and really cool views. This is the Peak Bottling Company's factory that produces the brand of water known as Catherine's Peak. It takes its name from an actual group of peaks nearby, which is said to have been named after the wife of the former governor of Jamaica, Sir Henry Moore. So next we have Newcastle Army Base, which was Sir William Gomb's solution to the high mortality rates of European soldiers due to yellow fever. Now, Gum was a major general of Her Majesty's forces in Jamaica. The situation was so bad that being deployed to Kingston, Jamaica was seen as a death sentence, with one soldier dying every 2.5 days in the early 19th century. So, Gum sought permission and financial assistance from the British government to build the barracks on multiple occasions, but to no avail. However, after some time, he did get the approval of the governor of Jamaica, so he constructed the barracks without the consent of the mainland British government. This saw a drastic reduction in deaths from yellow fever, as only 24 of 197 troops died shortly after it was constructed. And 5 years later, only 2 men died of 476. Away from the crosses. That sign says Kingston that way and Portland that way. Something else to note after Newcastle is that the roads, as you've probably noticed, is only wide enough for one vehicle in some sections. When you're driving through these spots, just sound your horn, as it will make navigating to the wider spots easier for both motorists. Now we're almost at Holywell, and something to keep in mind is that the slopes along most of the drive are susceptible to landslides, as you saw in Newcastle and as you'll see further along. And this is especially so after a heavy downpour. So try to avoid driving up here after a heavy downpour. And if you're driving up here after one or during one, just keep vigilant. That's the best you can really do anyway. Also, I shouldn't have to say it, but I will. Just take your time up here. You don't have much room for error, so don't need to speed. The next point of interest is the Eits Cafe bed and breakfast. I haven't visited it in a couple of years, but from what I can remember, it had really lovely views and a cool, welcoming vibe. And now we're here, Holywell. It's one of my absolute favorite places to go. And you're just away from town. If it wasn't so misty, I'll be able to show you, maybe not from this angle, but from further in, a view of town. But it's just nice. You're up here, you're away from, worries, you're just connected to nature. That's the thing I love about this place. But alright, no cars coming. Be able to hear it though. Another cool thing about this place is like a midway point, at least on the north eastern end of the island, because St. Andrew, St. Thomas, Portland. But you just check this out. This is Kingston, back down that way. Portland is that way. You can actually drive to Buff Bay that way, and I might actually do that soon. And then here is Hardware Gap. Well, not here, but like a little bit down is Hardware Gap. At least the Jamaicans can correct me, the locals. Now, this is the thing I like about this beautiful island of ours. We have this campaign, No Dirty Up Jamaica, and there's a sign here. In the forest and mountains, animals do not leave trash. Humans do. Please behave like animals. So behave like animals. Respect nature. We benefit from it. We're a part of it. We can't exist without it. Yeah. So Holywell is located in the Blue and John Crow Mountains, which is classified as a cloud forest. So simply speaking, it's a forest that's at such an elevation that there's a lot of cloud cover. Now what makes here so special is that only 1.2% of tropical forests in the Americas are cloud forests. Another cool fact is that the streams and rivers of the Blue Mountains supply over 1 million people in Kingston and eastern Jamaica. The entrance fee is 400 Jamaican dollars, so that's pretty manageable. However, the website needs to be updated to reflect that, as it's still showing 100 JMD. Holywell has 10 gazebos, each named after a bird or plant found in the national park, 3 furnished log cabins available for rent, a cafe, which we found out on this trip was only open on the weekends, which makes sense since that's when it's the most crowded, paid guided tours, campsite rentals, and a visitor center, which is going to be our first stop. Alright, so this is the visitor center. Not guess, it is. It says so. Right up here. Door would normally be wide open, but I think there's a display. When we get in there, you'll see. But yeah, this is just a small part of Holywell. Let's go around here. So now we're at the Visitors Lodge, and somewhere over there on that wall it has a sign that says that the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park was designated on February 26, 1993 under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act. But that's not just the cool part, there's a cooler part to it. On July 3, 2015, the preservation zone of the national park was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. I mean, come on, how cool is that? Alright, so these are the restrooms, handle some business, and we'll get right back. Nice little vibe. But let's do some more exploring, eh? And down there is the restroom. Not much we can do here, because you know it's windy and misty. But yeah, we're gonna check out some of the trails. We should discuss some safety tips. 1, ask the park rangers about the state of the trails you intend to take and if your vehicle can manage it. So tell the park rangers the type of vehicle you have, if you have any setup or any modifications done to it, and more than likely the park ranger will be able to tell you if your vehicle can manage it. 2, if you're at a location that doesn't have any form of management, let family and friends know where you're going, and for extra security, share your live location. That's just common sense. 3, know what kind of recovery gear that you may need, and ensure that you've inspected them before starting the trail, because you don't want to need them and you don't have them. And 4, which I think people overlook, inspect your vehicle to ensure that it's in good working order, which I did at the beginning of the video. Because you don't want to be on a trail and have any transmission issues or engine issues or just any issues that you could avoid, because life has a funny way of making the things that can go wrong go spectacularly wrong, and when you're on a trail, yeah, you don't want that happening. that's a ton. Oh my god. I didn't realize that drop off would be like that.
I wish I knew where it was going.
Alright. Is there a spot to turn?
That's what you keep saying? Must be going back around to the cabins. Must. And it's obviously traversed. Must be going back around to the cabins. Must.
I think so.
We must be. We're curving back that way. Or we're going to end up coming out on the main road or something.
It's like, where you want to go? I don't know. Alright, definitely a spot to turn because I am turning right here.
Go up. We're going back to the cabins.
I don't think this takes us
Go
back to
up.
the cabins. And let me put it in the right gear first for high.
Obviously, people drive along this.
That's true.
Ooh, orange. A bunch of orange trees.
We drive along it to go here. Oh.
Far away.
Huh?
Every time I think I have an idea of where we are.
Like, I'm not sure.
Is there a coffee beans, I think? Are we on a coffee plantation?
On somebody's coffee plantation. Never been up here before.
Are we to come on that road that's going down past the cabins?
No, that goes to like Norbrook Cherga instead.
No, where are we? Confused.
You won.
Miss instruction now, so it's time to go back. When there was nothing, it's like fine. But I start seeing structures of like, okay, people.
It must be a spot wide. Ah, a spot wide enough to turn around.
Yeah.
Well, let's test my ability to drive.
Genuinely wonder where it is.
Come back here with this drive.
No, thanks. These are freaking me out.
Hills of Eyes?
Yeah. You have to admit they're kind of freaky. They're looking very, hillbilly, come to kill you.
But you're like, go up. I want to see it.
I remember, did you hear what I just said?
Okay,
Once
I'm
I
seeing
started
structures.
I'm like, no.
Yep, time to go back.
Yep.
Alright guys, thanks for joining me on another one. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and a share. It helps the channel out. And subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one.